salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be reading some small town romances. So how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. I am so excited to be filming today. I did my makeup and then I was gonna put on like actual clothes and I couldn't be bothered. I could not be bothered. I don't know what accent that was. I'm so incredibly sorry. I wanted to be in my sleep shirt today, okay? I want to not be a human and like be in my bed and like rot and be a little gremlin, okay? So I'm in my comfy sleep shirt from Hello Lovely. I love it so much. We totally derailed the point of this video. Anyways, today is a really exciting video because I'm going to be doing a collab with Jessica from PeaceLoveBooksxo. I love Jessica. She's my girl. I've never watched Jessica's channel, which I'm sure you have because she's amazing and beautiful and wonderful and has the best recs ever. Go watch her. Jessica does read a little bit of everything, but she really likes small town romances and romantic suspense versus me, who loves like poly romances, reverse harem, why choose anything with more than 2 people. And we were chatting and giving each other book recs, and it almost felt like we were switching reading tastes, and that's what this video is. We're going to be switching reading tastes. We're going to be reading each other's favorite tropes. She's going to be reading some reverse harem and poly romances that I recommended to her, and I'm going to be reading some small town romances and romantic suspense romances that she recommended to me. This was the longest intro. I'm so very sorry. I love Jessica. Make sure to go check her out. And I'm so excited to be entering in my small town romance era. I'm very intrigued. I have not read many small town romances. Honestly, I can think maybe of like 3 that I've read. It's not the type of trope that I lean towards these days. A lot of times when I read romances, I read them almost like an escapism. So I want them to be as crazy and wild and different from like my regular life. So yeah, I'm very excited. Let me talk about the books that Jessica recommended to me. I will say that Jessica does have a video on small town romances. She also did a little Instagram graphic on her Instagram, so make sure to check those out if you want even more recommendations. But first, we're going to be checking out BK Borison and her Love Light series. I know that Jessica's favorite book is the second book in the series, which is In the Weeds, but we're gonna start from the beginning because I like to read series in order. So we're gonna start with Love Light Farms, which is technically a Christmas romance, but we're gonna make it work, and it's a friends to lovers romance. And then obviously we're gonna read the second one, In the Weeds, which I think is a second chance romance. I think they had like a one-night stand years ago, and now they're both in the same small town and they're kind of like reconnecting. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. We'll find out. You guys are a huge fan of Catherine Cowles, and I've heard nothing but great things about her book, so I definitely want to check her out. The one that she picked for me was Fractured Sky. This is technically the 5th book in the Tattered and Torn series, but I've heard you can read them out of order, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't know much about this book, but everyone raves about it. And then I also want to read a Laura Pavlov book. The one that I'm looking at is called Into the Tide. This is the first one in the Cottonwood Cove series, and this one is a brother's best friend romance. That's like my loose TBR. Hopefully we get to all those books. Maybe we'll read some more if I'm feeling the vibes. I'll take you along with me this week while I read these books. I am also going on vacation with my family, so maybe I'll throw in some clips there. But that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Good morning. I'm about to head into work in like 10 minutes, which is the last place I want to be right now. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Reading Love Light Farms right now. I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm really liking it. I decided to just read this whole series. I think it's a trilogy. I'm really liking it right now. I'm liking the small town cozy vibes a lot more than I was expecting, because you know what guys, I'm gonna be so honest with you. I'm going through it like mentally. I'm having a very emotional week. Mental health, my depression, my anxiety, like everything is just at 100, it feels like. And this is very cozy and reassuring and kind of what I want out of my books right now. I don't want anything like super angsty or super hard hitting. I'm really liking the small town vibes. They're getting me through my day. I'm gonna go into work right now, guys. I'm gonna be an adult and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook and I will update you guys when I'm done. Hi, hello, hi, how are you? Boy oh boy, do I have so many updates. Am I chewing gum like a cow? I'm so sorry. That's disgusting. Since I've last spoken to you guys, I have read 4 books. 4 books. Have I updated you guys on any of them? No. I think I'm in my small town romance era. It's going good. We're gonna update you guys on the books. I was gone for a whole week. Me and my family went on a vacation. We went on a road trip, so that was really fun. I have some like beef footage that I might throw in. Today we went to a small business like farmer's market. I'll show you what I got there. That's why I feel like a drowned rat right now, because it is so hot. It is so hot today. Really quick, before I talk about the books that I read, I want to show you guys the stuff I got at this little farmer's market. Very first booth that I walked into, strawberries. You guys know I'm obsessed with strawberries. We'll save the best for last, but first when I walked up, I found this gorgeous strawberry coffee mug. So many strawberry cups, but I actually don't have a coffee mug. I have like a water bottle and like cute strawberry shaped mugs, but I don't have anything like this. So I'm very, very excited to have this. And then, okay. This is the piece de resistance, my friends. I'm just so excited, I can't even deal. There was this place that was selling backpacks and a lot of them were Loungefly, and originally when I walked up I was looking at like the Disney themed ones, and it was my brother-in-law who found this one. Are you kidding me? Are you? The serotonin like coursing through my veins right now, pumping into my bloodstream. This makes me incredibly happy. Incredibly happy. I've never owned a Loungefly backpack because I do think they're kind of expensive, and I'm definitely more of like a tote person. I don't usually have a decorative bag like this, but I could not walk away from this. Are you kidding me? So this is the Strawberry Shortcake Loungefly backpack. It is a crossbody, so inside is the actual chain to wear on your bod. Even like opens up and it's so freaking cute. I'll try to do a close-up shot. The inside smells like actual strawberries. It's scented. It gets better. Like it just gets better. That is what we found at the farmer's market with like all those small businesses. Now let's talk about the actual books. When I asked her which books I should read for this specific video, she definitely recommended B.K. Borison. This one is the first in a series. This one is called Love Light Farms, and I decided to read the series in order. There's 3 books total in the series right now, but I do see on Goodreads that we are going to be getting a 4th book. Heroine Stella owns a tree farm and it's very, very cozy. The entire setting is absolutely amazing. It reminded me a lot of cozy mysteries. I feel like if you like cozy mysteries, you would definitely love this series, or vice versa. This tree farm is not doing that well. She's kind of short on funds. She ends up entering into the social media competition that has a cash prize and will get her a lot of exposure. The problem is that in her application, she said that she opened up this tree farm with her boyfriend, who she does not have, so propositioning her best friend Luca to pretend to be her boyfriend. So we have a fake dating scenario. They've been friends for, I think, like a decade, like 10 years. They're super close. They're best friends. You can totally tell that they both are madly, deeply crazy in love with each other, but they just don't want to ruin their friendship. But now that they're fake dating, they kind of blur the lines and it follows their romance. Perfect. The book was honestly such a great introduction to small town romances because I could just imagine this town. Even though this was a Christmas book, I feel like you could read it literally any time because just the setting and the coziness of it just feels almost like nostalgic and like a warm hug, you know? Prince Lovers is one of my favorite tropes, and I think this one is so good. It's mainly told in Stella's point of view, and she has been pining over her best friend for years and years and years. I do feel like this book had mutual pining because you could totally tell our hero was just obsessed with our heroine. There were so many small moments that I just thought were so incredibly romantic and sweet. I feel like, honestly, like if you like small town romances, you're gonna like cozy mysteries because most of them take place in a small town. They're cozy, they're sweet. These are 2 that reminded me so much of this book, but this book just had more romance, obviously. So the first one is Murder at the Christmas Cookie Bake Off by Darcy Hannah. Heroine owns a bakery, and in her small town, Christmas is a huge deal. So she's really going all out to decorate. They're having a Christmas competition for their decorations. There's like a news reporter coming in and they're going to be filming it, and then bum bum bum, one of the judges is found dead. So our heroine is trying to work during this busy Christmas season, trying to keep her business afloat. This reminded me so much, like so much of this book. In both of these books, our heroines are trying to make sure that their business is staying afloat. They're both taking part of a competition. It's Christmas themed. And then one of my favorite cozy mysteries in general is the Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander. If you're getting started into cozies, I definitely think this one is a good one to go with. Moving on, we're keeping the good vibes going. I read In the Weeds, which is the 2nd book in the series. This is Jessica's favorite book, and this one is a little bit more emotional. It follows our heroine Evelyn, who is the social media influencer in the 1st book, and she is this huge social media influencer who loves to travel and visit small businesses, but she feels like she's really lost herself and lost her purpose. Very passionate about what she did, but once it became a job, it kind of like sucked some of the happiness out of it, which is very relatable, and she's just trying to find what makes her happy. So going back to Love Light Farm, because that is a place where she was very happy at. That is also where our hero Beckett is. They had a one-night stand years and years ago. It was steamy, it was wonderful, it was delicious, and then they went their separate ways, and now this is kind of them reconnecting. My lights like flickered for a sec. Oh, Oh, what just happened? Okay, 1 second. Okay, I apologize for the change in lighting, but my ring light just like blew out. Just gone. In the weeds. Just had a one-night stand, and now our heroine is back in the town, and they have a little bit of forced proximity situation because the small town that they live in is very meddlesome and trying to like get them to be together. So it follows their romance. The book had all of the cozy, sweet vibes that the first book had, but it was just more raw and emotional. Hero deals with social anxiety. Our heroine is dealing with burnout and trying to find what makes her happy. Both of our characters felt so relatable, and I was literally bawling throughout this entire book because the place that our heroine was in this book I related to so freaking much. Trying to find what you're passionate about and what makes you happy, I could not relate more to that, and in fact that is literally this space that I'm in right now in my life, just trying to find out what makes me happy and going through bouts of depression and social anxiety, and I could cry just talking about it. I just felt like their connection was so raw and pure and electric. Definitely gave out like soulmate energy vibes. It kind of reminded me of that Dan and Shay song. What is it called? Tequila. That's the name of it. If you've ever listened to the song Tequila by Dan and Shay, if I had to give this book a song, that would be it. There was a phrase in this book that our hero said to our heroine often, and it was, "Did you find your happy today?" or "Did you find your happy again?" And it just like resonated so deeply in me because our heroine was treasuring all of these small moments in life that you tend to look over, and it wasn't just the romance, it was also her personal journey and her growth. And 2 books that we read are 5 stars, so high five to Jessica because these are fantastic recommendations. Said I have been gone for a whole week and I read these books on my vacation. I filmed some little clips that I wanted to include, and I was so happy that I was reading the books during this trip because these little clips were little ways that I was finding my happy again. Were just little moments of the past week that made me really happy. So here are some little clips of me finding my happiness. Hello, I am here to update you guys on more of the books that I read. I read 4 books on my vacation. I talked about 2, so now I need to talk about the rest. I also have some books to haul and some fun things to show you. So let's just talk about it. Next book that I read this on ebook, and that is Fractured Sky by Catherine Cowles. This is the 5th book in the Tattered and Torn series. This is the first book that I read from Catherine Cowles. I think that Jessica just like wanted me to cry during this entire vlog because when I tell you I was sobbing reading this book during the road trip, I was in the car reading this and tears were just streaming down my face. This book is so emotional. This one was just so deeply emotional, very different from like the cozy vibes that we had from the first 2 books that I've talked about. So this one follows Shiloh and Ramsey. Shiloh has had it rough, okay? She was kidnapped when she was around 10 years old and she's still recovering mentally and emotionally from that. Kidnapped by a man when she was very, very young, and his intention was to like mold her into what he thought like the perfect woman would be. And also her family is also dealing with the trauma of her being kidnapped when she was a child. It's a very small town. Everyone knows about what had happened. Her family is very protective and she feels almost trapped. This book has a little bit of a romantic suspense element as well because for years our heroine has been receiving letters from the man who kidnapped her, and in more recent years she has been receiving different types of letters, threatening letters. She's just trying to move on with her life, and that is where our hero Ramsey comes in. Owns a farm in this small town. She is like nurturing nurture and help injured horses and horses who were abused. For many years, his ranch had become a safe haven for our heroine, Shiloh. He wants to branch out, and she ends up moving into one of his guest houses and also working for him. It has a little bit of an age gap romance. Ramsey also has a very tortured emotional past he is also healing from and grieving from, so they heal each other. That's really the whole book, is them healing each other. I just absolutely loved this book. The romance, I have to say, definitely one of the most romantic books I've ever read. Hands down, one of the most romantic books I've ever read. They were true soulmates, the way they treasured each other, the way they communicated with each other, the way that they helped each other heal and they leaned on each other. Just like everything was so incredibly romantic and sweet and wonderful. Like, I just can't even explain it. There's no miscommunication, no third act breakup. All of the conflict was external conflict with the romantic suspense element. I will say, the plot was like jam-packed. There was always something going on. I'm not even doing this book justice. The setting of the small town and her family and all the side characters was so well written. Our heroine was so incredibly strong. Our hero was so incredibly strong and sweet. And the way that he loved our heroine was just absolutely beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. 5 stars. We are 3 for 3. First 3 books are 5 stars. So Jessica's recommendations are turning out to be amazing, which is really no surprise. Let me show you guys some fun things that I got. On our road trip, I did stop at a thrift store and I got some books and also some strawberry stuff. I need to wash this, but I got this little strawberry. I don't even know what this is. I'm probably gonna put like coins or maybe like bobby pins in here, maybe put it in my bathroom. I saw strawberries and I had to have it because how freaking cute, just like this vintage strawberry home decor. And then I got this one as well. This one is just so stinking beautiful. Like I said, when I walk into a store, I feel like my eyes like immediately scan to see if there's anything strawberry related. So I'm really happy to have this. I think I want to make my bathroom strawberry themed. My bathroom colors are like brown and like neutral boring colors, so I think I'm gonna get like a strawberry shower curtain. And then keeping with the strawberry theme, because I just can't stop, my friend Desiree found this mug at Marshall's, or was it Marshall's or TJ Maxx? I can't remember. I've been looking for this mug everywhere. None of my stores had it, but hers did, so she sent it to me, which I'm super grateful for. It is a strawberry coffee mug. Just beautiful. Love it. And these were some of the books that I got at the thrift store. I got a Nora Roberts book. This one is called High Moon. Jessica has recently been loving Nora Roberts. I think the one she loves is called Obsession, but now I need to read Nora Roberts because she just makes them sound so good. Another random one, I got the Jungle Book. It's the story and also has some illustrations inside. The Jungle Book is actually one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, so when I saw this, I definitely wanted to add it to my collection because I have some other really fun copies of the Jungle Book. And probably the most exciting thing of this whole video, well, the strawberry bag was pretty cool, but I have Fourth Wing. Oh my god! Okay, so I have a reading vlog where I read Fourth Wing with my dad and we absolutely loved it. And if you guys know, I've been obsessing over this fantasy romance with dragons. It was so on the late train. Like, I read it months after everyone else did because I just usually don't love fantasy romance. So I totally missed out on the beautiful sprayed edges, okay? I did. And it took me forever to even find a regular copy, but my friend Caitlin was kind enough to send. Guys, I could literally cry right now. I could literally cry right freaking now. Caitlin sent me this gorgeous first edition with these sprayed edges for my birthday, and I am in love. I am in love. Right, that was my second update. Like I said, I have so many updates for you guys. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. I decided I hate the summertime. I hate it. I literally hate it so much. So much. Living a regular life in this heat is brutal. Brutal. I am so hot right now. It is not even 9 o'clock and it's already in the 90s. And then yesterday it was like 8 o'clock and it was 112 degrees. 8 o'clock at night. 112 degrees. Coño, puñeta. Why? Why? Like, for what purpose? What reason? I am miserable in this heat. Anyways, I have to go to work. I was off for a week and I feel like I need a vacation from my vacation, but gotta pay the bills, gotta pay for all those book signings that I want to go to next year and this year. So Anyways, I'm reading this Laura Pavlov book right here. This is a small town, well, all these books are small town romances, but this one is specifically a brother's best friend romance. I'm reading it on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading it on my Kindle. I might be able to read it during my lunch today. Pavlov was at Book Bonanza, which was a book signing that I went to, and I didn't go to her table. For what reason, I don't know, and I'm kind of regretting that now, so anyways, I'm gonna read this book today. My coworker is seeing me talk on my phone. It's fine, it's fine. It looks like I'm FaceTiming. I'm FaceTiming you guys, we're chatting. Okay, so we are still playing around with the lighting. My favorite ring light broke. But anyways, I just got off of work and I did finish the Laura Pavlov book. I keep like forgetting the title of this book. I don't know why. Into the Tide. I don't know why that name is just like is not sticking in my head, but I just finished Into the Tide. This is her first book in her Cottonwood Cove series, and it is a brother's best friend romance, so a little bit of a forbidden aspect to it. Is Lila. She went to college outside of her small town, but she is now graduated, is headed back to her hometown for the summer, and she ends up working for her brother's best friend, Hugh. That's our hero. He owns multiple restaurants and businesses. She ends up working with him. Her life, he has been very protective of her, but now she is back. She's a little bit older, a little bit more confident, and there is an attraction there that they cannot help but explore. The small town element was really strong here. Tons of side characters. A huge part of this book was also like the different family dynamics. Lila's father is an addict and an alcoholic, and she is trying to like help him recover, so that is a huge part of this book, so maybe a trigger warning. Erwin has kind of like lived her entire life being very responsible, and like I said, her brother is very protective, and had a time in her life where she's able to just be like free and explore, so she ends up creating this bucket list of all the things that she wants to do as a virgin in this book, so it's kind of like a sexy bucket list as well, and of course our hero helps her check some of those off. Let me tell you, I love a list. I love a good sexy list, like nine Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake by Sarah McLean, or Resolutions by Lucy Eden, or even Party Favors by Erin McLennan. If there's a list, if like a bucket list or things that they want to do, especially if it involves like sexy time, sexy things, like a teach me moment, I love it. It's so much fun. And that's what this book was. I feel like the other books that I recently talked about were more emotional, where this book was just fun, a nice summer read. Fun, it was cute, it was steamy, but I just felt like the other books I was able to emotionally connect to the characters a little bit more. I do think it's worth mentioning that our heroine is pretty young in this book, like 21, 22, which I mean isn't that much younger than me, but I'm just like at a place in my life where I don't like reading about younger characters, or I don't connect with younger characters as much because I'm in a different place in my life. Heroine, she just seemed a little naive, a little juvenile, and I almost wanted her to take a little bit more agency in her life, if that makes sense. So I don't know, it wasn't bad, and I am being picky and comparing this book to the other books that I read. Like I said, if I read this one first, I think I would have liked it way more. So I'm gonna settle with like a 3-star read. It was good. I would still recommend it to someone getting into small town romances, but just compared to some of the other books I read in this video, it wasn't my fave. I do want to read more from Laura Pavlov though. Okay, so the last book that I want to talk about was actually not a recommendation from Jessica. That's why I'm leaving it towards the end. I started this book a little bit before I started this vlog, and it was what really made me get into small town romances. A new-ish release by Serena Bowen. It's called Good as Gold. This is the first book in her Guilt Maker series, and I really enjoyed this one. This book follows Layla and Mateo, who grew up with each other, and they grew up in like a group of 3. It was them 2 and their best friend Rory, all very close in high school, but Mateo ends up leaving the small town to get more job experience. Mateo has been pining over Layla for years and years and years, but she actually ends up marrying their other best friend Rory. The relationship is a little bit toxic. At the beginning of the book, you know that Layla is going through a divorce. She ends up divorcing that friend that she married. So Mateo ends up moving, Layla ends up marrying kind of like the wrong guy for her, and it's definitely one of those scenarios where it was the right person but wrong time. Mateo is back home to spend some time with his family because he is actually grieving the loss of his best friend and business partner. So they're both going through their own things. She's going through a divorce, he's grieving the loss of one of his best friends, and they end up reconnecting. There's years of like miscommunication that they kind of have to get over. Heroine realizes that what she really wants in life is kids, and she was not able to get that from her first marriage. So she's like looking to get like a donor or maybe to do IVF, and in a drunken night, she ends up propositioning Mateo to be her sperm donor. So basically propositioning him to get her pregnant so that she can have a kid, and it turns into somewhat of a relationship. All of their old feelings just come back up, and it's a small town romance. I really, really loved this one. Definitely felt like a soulmate energy again, because their lives and their careers have taken them completely different paths, completely different states. How they end up finding themselves back together, and it's really sweet in a lot of ways. I gave this one 4 stars. It was also very emotional. Are all small town romances emotional? Because most of the ones I read in this video are. This one deals a lot of grief and loss and like just discovering what you want in life. The reason I'm not giving it 5 stars is because towards the end it kind of dragged. There really was not much external conflict. Most of the conflict came from the characters not communicating with each other. A big miscommunication trope in this one, which was kind of frustrating at times. But I'm still giving it 4 stars because the romance did feel so hard-earned, and I did really like it in the end. I also finished A Blue Ribbon Romance by CMNS Costa. I know it does not seem like a small town romance, but technically it is. It takes place in a very small town where monsters and humans are like this one big community. We're familiar with Morning Glory Milking Farm, which like blew up last year, I feel like. Romance between a minotaur and a human, and this is actually that book but told in the hero's perspective, which was really nice. So yeah, technically that is a small town romance that I also finished, and I gave that one 4 stars. Let's wrap it up because I've been talking for so long. I finished 6 books in this reading vlog, which is honestly kind of crazy because I was only planning on reading 2. But the small town romance trope just took me, and I can definitely say I am a small town romance girly now. I am in my small town romance era. I'm so excited that I gave it a try. I'm so happy that I read some of Jessica's favorite books. Honestly, had such a fun time. Every single book that I talked about in this video, I would totally recommend for anyone who wants to read small town romances. They were all amazing. Quick, just wrapping it up, we read the first and second book from the Love Light series by B.K. Borison. I gave Love Light Farms 5 stars, which was a friends lovers romance. The second book, In the Weeds, also 5 stars, and this one was more of like a second chance romance. Pick a favorite book from this reading vlog, it would definitely be Fractured Skies by Catherine Cowles. This is the 5th book in her Tattered and Torn series. It was an age gap romance, but it really focused on just like healing and healing together, and it was so incredibly romantic. One of the most romantic books I've read. Finished Into the Tide by Laura Pavlov. That was a brother's best friend romance, and I'm giving it like 3.5 4 stars. I finished Good as Gold by Serena Bowen, which is a second chance friends to lovers romance. I'm giving that 4 stars. Kind of like our fun additional pick was A Blue Ribbon Romance, which I'm giving 4 stars, and that was by CMNS Costa. Last, I know this video was very, very long, but we read a lot of books. We had a lot to do this week, so I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. I am probably going to do a part 2 to this video because now I have even more books that I want to read. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out Jessica's video. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!